Hello, soul family. I am Shannon Pardini, and I am here with Dafna Ohana. I am Quantum Heart Conversations podcast, and Dafna is from Healing Roots Hypnotherapy. And we are back, of course. We like to sit in these wonderful energies. We're in the 333, the very 33 energy today, and the beautiful Dafna, who really is tapped into the alignment of these frequencies and planetary, is going to share more with us as I tap in. So our topic today is the call for the authentic voice. Mm-hmm. So Daphna, with that said, I'm going to let you lead right into it.
Thank you. We just spoke, myself and Shannon, just before we tuned in, how we move in these very different energies. There is a juxtaposition in the cosmos at the moment, and that explains how we feel at one moment really one way, and the next can be quite a different energetic mix. So we have a 3 points, 3 dots in the cosmos that are very focused energies. One of them is Piscean energy, one is Aquarius, and one is Capricorn. And the archetypes for these threes cannot be any different, I would say. It's quite different flavors. So where we have the Piscean energy that is expansive, it wants us to dream, to imagine. It brings the feminine softness, no boundaries. And it's just, it has this sense of allowance and flow and surrender. If we look at the configuration within the Capricornian energy, which is really coming into a culmination in most areas, it's very much the structure, the patriarch, the call to be responsible for what you are forming, and very directional, masculine kind of energy. And then we have the Aquarian, which is all about innovations and let's break all the perceptual lens and look into the future and innovations. And so those are the 3 pockets that are mostly focused at the sky at the moment. And this is coming in a time where yesterday we had a new moon in the Piscean energy, and we are having this meeting between Venus and Mars, and they have been meeting. We've talked about it a little bit before, but the way that they are meeting now, they are connecting with Pluto, and that's quite an intense movement. But they are connecting with Pluto after, and now as of today, Venus is out of the shadow, so she's been doing her deep dive, and she has come to a certain clarity. And Mars is the masculine, and both of them are in Capricorn, so it's the responsible and very I want to say the words that I'm trying to, that's where words can just come, they sometimes float away. It's the very serious energy, Capricorn. And they come and they talk with Pluto, which wants them to revolutionize themselves. So they come to this point where the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the Venus represents also peace, Mars represents war. And look at the various reflection in the world of what's happening. We're also talking about having the structures of the old, Capricorn, and the Piscean energy, which is the unified field. We are all connected. And so these energies, both in our personal life as well as within the sky, are coming into a point of both a culmination, where we have an understanding that we need to do things differently. We have reassessed our values at this point, and we know what doesn't work for us anymore and what is calling us. The whole dynamics within relationships is shifting. And when we talk about relationships or relations, we talk about the ones, first of all, with ourselves, but it's relationship to the world, relationship to other nations, relationship to both our feminine and masculine. And so something is really culminated in that way, where we are no longer able to be who we are and the way that we've engaged in some thread within our life. Our sense of self has changed. And we really come with all these Venus dive to a place where of self-love. And especially with the Piscean energy, there is a lot of self-love. There is really an understanding of what is worthy of our time and our own self-worthiness. So this has really shape-shifted in us. The other way of this working is, how do we create in the world? Where we used to push, or where we used to go through certain steps in order to create something, we are really asked, the way that this is coming up into this culmination point is that Pluto revolutionized this. It says, who are you today? You can no longer go ahead. That's the authenticity part. You can no longer do things in a different way. And we really feel the clarity. So we have these really momentous energy and pivotal points where we get clear and insights into how we are and the ways of our engagements now. And what I want to say also, though, is that if we look at the way we relate in the world, and we look at these 3 points of energies that I talked about, part of what I look at is the bigger picture. And I said Venus is peace and Mars is war. And there is the Piscean energy, which wants no boundaries, but then there is the Aquarian energy that says, hey, but there are boundaries. And there is truth, and there is a certain authentic way of walking within boundaries. And so it's interesting how the conjunction with Pluto gives us the opportunity to even maybe show up in war in a different way. And that's what part of what I want to point in. We do have the opportunity to tune into the unified field of the Piscean energy and say, hey, as a humanity, we've done things in a certain way. Can we rise up? Because we know with everything, with any archetype, we have the lower octave and the higher octave. Can we rise above this and maybe choose a different way? And one of the other points I want to bring before we move is, we are within these energies are having the combination of also constricted energy as well as expansive energy. So part of what I didn't mention is that the Aquarian energy connects with Saturn. So it wants us to innovate, but Saturn tells us, oh, and Jupiter and Pisces wants us to dream, but then Saturn comes back and says, so, but are you going to bring the structure here? And so we have these push and pull energies where we are in the birth canal and we have the contractions and the expansion. And the Piscean energy says, hey, the universe is with you. Have faith and surrender your vision with the understanding that this working that is at play, this creation that we are participating in, has this huge cycle we're combining into and culminating, and that we are doing things in a different way because of this masculine and feminine motion and dance differently, that it says, okay, so if in the past you used to do 1, 2, 3, open yourself up. Open yourself up and let yourself sit within the feminine essence of you, because you are doing things differently. Unfurl your wings and wait to the point where you can actually start moving them. Even though we feel the really the yearning and the urgency to move, it's that dense. So I know I've given a lot of different movement, but that's the kind of energies that are very alive in the field at the moment.
Yeah, they're very alive. My signs, I'm on the cusp of Pisces and Aquarius, and also Aquarius rising. So I kind of dance in these energies. This has always been, I don't know, navigating. You really have to soar through this. You have to rise above the timelines and really take a good look at what you're allowing into your life. It is so crystal clear in this moment for all of us. And what an opportunity to have all these signs coming together to truly start navigating who we want to be, what our expression truly is inside, so we can shine that out. All these energies for me and tapping into it, I feel like so many timelines are colliding. Even in my day to day, I'll have these experiences of, am I somewhere else? What's happening? It's shifting so fast. And even, I don't pay too much attention to time, but time on earth is moving so fast too. We're just in this huge acceleration. And really all it's doing is aligning each and every one of us into, what do you want to express? It's like we're in the pressure cooker, and the polarities of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, they're actually, to me, starting to soften and become an energy that's more of wholeness, that's helping us in this pressure cooker say, hey, we're given a chance to express in this whole new way, as Dafna said. And how do you want to do this? And so again, for me, I really have to look above and kind of see where my actions are. There's so many things in my life that I'm creating, and there's so many people I'm in collaboration with, and we're all working with these same energies. We feel, what's a good word for these energies? It's like frenetic energy, but it's also this super creative energy that's coming in for all of us. And we're just having to give each other the space to allow the downloads to come in, which is information that's, always trying to communicate with you to show you your next step. But also take in these downloads, because when we're in periods like this, even this last week, when we're getting these downloads, they take a few days to fully integrate the information that you're getting. So it isn't a time to just, try to blast off and run with it, because 1 minute you're going to receive one information, and like Dafna said, you're going to get really quickly something else coming through. But again, finding something within your lives where you can take a time out and allow this to integrate. You don't really have to think about it, just go be in nature, go work out, do something, at least moving the body, so this information can start integrating through you, and it'll get much more clear as to what your DNA expression, the downloads, want to share through you, and who you want to be now. Because again, we're all showing up in such a different way, a new earth way, an enlightened way. The polarities outside of us, it's again, yes, it's sad, but it's comical too. It couldn't get much more clear of what is not of new earth. We're having this old paradigm breaking apart, shifting, showing itself to each and every one of us. And it's like, do you want to play in that? Because you don't have to. You can actually just go back and, you know, really start floating above all these creations and, you know, these super highways that are coming into your life, trying to show you who you are, and focus on that right now. It's like, we don't have to get congested in all this old paradigm information. It's like, you don't want to keep pulling that inside you, because it serves no purpose at this time. We are here to be creators. We have a ton of creation moving through our own physical vessels and DNA that want to express out. And the more that you start fine-tuning what that is inside you, and that really takes getting quiet or being in some type of meditative movement of what you enjoy. And yeah, this is what's happening with these energies for me. And by me expressing that, I invite you to explore in that way too.
Yeah, thank you so much that that you've presented in here that is in resonance. And you talked about the feminine and masculine, and yes, ultimately, because they've traveled so much and because they are touching with Pluto, they come into this place of more of an equilibrium, where we actually, even if we are uncomfortable, we know what we need to do. We know that we need to move in our lives in a different manner. And I love that you brought the piece of movement, or the piece of certain practices that are a part of the necessity at the moment. It's just like food. I think I've mentioned this before. It's necessary for our own way, and for grounding the energies. It's necessary to find a practice that help us do that. And I know for you and for me, it's movement. And I find it interesting also that you're Aquarius, with Aquarius rising. I'm Leo with Leo rising, with Leo on the cusp of Leo Virgo, depending which systems you're looking at. And I'm in the culmination point. So I understand that with the death, there is a birth. There is the whole movement where it's like one door open and one door closes, and what starts what, and the egg and the chicken and all that. It's very thin for me, that place of death and birth, which we are very much in the middle of in humanity, because we are traveling through a giant, monumental cycle in our evolution. Our genome is changing. And think about what the body has to go through in order to assimilate, integrate, and live through that new structure. I've said it in another podcast lately, it's just like becoming the butterfly. You're changed fully. Your identity doesn't resemble anything. You've traveling through so many timelines and transmuting so many ancestral information. It's really an exciting, intense time to be alive, but it's extremely amazing to be here right now and to participate in that. Now, there is one point that I want to mention, because I was reflecting just before we got on the call today about, the feminine and masculine, and really ultimately what's that divine union, because that's where we are really coming into a point of this divine marriage from within ourselves, where we're balanced, unified vision and way of walking here and creating within the unified field and the Christ consciousness. All that means the same thing. We're coming into this point where wherever we are going to choose something, to me, it's what would love choose? And not love as infatuation love, but the agape kind of love, the Aquarian kind of love, where it's for humanity, for the sake of love, of unconditional love. What would love choose at any moment? And I think for me, this is so alive. And I was pondering just before we came, where is in our life we move away from that essence that is in every ounce in the fabric of our being. On a cellular level, we are love. Everything is love. That's the energy that in the fabric of the universe. And I was thinking about a word that I don't hear too much discussion about, which is innocence. And I was thinking, that's the point where we start skewing away from that. Because think about it, when we are born, and I'm talking about in general terms, because I know that there are some situation and conditions we can be born into that are not in that context, but for the sake of this example, when we are born, we are in delta wave, as we know. We are completely connected to the divine, to the source. We don't know where is the boundary. Our crown chakra is soft and porous, and everything that we see, everything we engage in, it's like a pearl. We are a pearl in being shaped by this incredible place we came into. And so to me, what would bring that sense of innocence back? I find it, when I look at cats, they remind me of that. That, to me at least, that there is this sense of like, and babies, of course, that it's the magic of just being. There is no construct. There is no, oh, if I love, I will, I will get hurt, or the betrayal, all these things that are part of our experience. And I find that, for me at least, after I sort of like thought about it today, it's like, okay, what will bring this essence back into life?
I think we are, again, it's part of all this pressure. There's no letting off, right? It's just pressure. Right now, through all the narratives, and that innocence is just getting touched, when we're getting squeezed like that to that point. So many of us are going inward, or we have no choice to go inward. It's just being guided in the way that it's being guided. And so we are getting touched in the innocence, and some of us are moving through purification of the little child within us, and what we went through our younger years, because those are the most where we start programming our physical vessel and hooking into the collective consciousness behaviors. But again, it's going even deeper into that purity. I work a lot with that energy when working with the DNA. It's, going to that pure essence of, even with the spinal fluid and the spine, even when we're first concepted, all those areas are just pure, radiant, birthing energies that we always have access to. It's what our body is made of. And so again, in that pure essence and that innocence is creation and creativity. And so using these energies, and how does one do that? It really comes down to, using your intuitive imagination, visualization of, when Dafna was describing those energies, it is a space where you can reside and go into a meditative place with. One, it's going to calm your whole cellular template down. It's going to allow you to touch upon knowing your body in a home frequency. And what do I mean by home frequency? It's when your body is at its most calm. It doesn't have any chemical dependency. It's not hooking into the collective consciousness on the outside. It's not hooking into emotions that are causing chemical reaction. Your body feels like this birthing energy. It feels like this beautiful innocence. And we have moments of that. And if you do touch upon moments of that, I invite you to try to sit in the frequency for as long as you can until the whole body feels neutralized in this peaceful, genuinely creative and innocent place. We have that capability, and you can do it many times a day. But the more that you sit in these frequencies and train your body to get into home frequency and to understand that we aren't these emotional chemical dependencies. All that is just, it's discordance. It's causing an emotional reaction in your body that's, creating the physiology to be off and create cortisol, which the body feels, again, it just feels in discordance. But you don't have to feel that way. If you can start surrendering into that peaceful innocence, that creative birthing energy, which is our truth. It is our home frequency. It is our divine right to have this space at any time we want. The key to that is defining, when are you out of that frequency? When are you hooking outside into the collective energies? What is in your life that's making you go into these emotional looping patterns? Because essentially that's not you. Your body is just saying, hey, I don't want to feel this way, and so it's just giving you guidance where we can attune. Do you want to be in over here in that, old paradigm archetype of constantly feeling discombobulated and chemical reaction? Or do you want to start practicing being in this innocence, this birthing energy, this frequency that is so natural to our body, except it's a practice, it's a tool. And easiest way to go there is, sit in it, visualize. We're all intuitive. We all have this great creation landscape. Just feel it. What is birthing energy to you? And how long can you hold that frequency? Because if you do, I guarantee you will go into big downloads of information immediately. The more and more you start holding this frequency, it will help you align. So thank you for bringing up the innocence and the purity. Again, it's, when you say that, our mind, our body, our soul, everything planetary, we're all in a one resonance here, but it really is just going to start here. Again, I always say the body is an instrument that you tune, like an instrument. But again, it's these little practices, and with the birthing energy, the energy of creation, if you can start practicing that as a frequency, just once a day, twice a day, it will change you, because you'll start knowing yourself in a more natural state.
Yeah, beautiful. So the energies, the way you've described them too, one of the things that I want to do, I don't want to talk too much more. I would actually, if you're okay with that, at some point would like to do a bit of an activation, because I find that always is helpful to assist us in attuning to the frequency. Also because we are on a very strong portal today. We have the triple, we have 3-3 today, which is the double trinity, which connects to the 22 that we've had recently, because it's triple, it's triple, it's duality of the trinity in both places. It's just through different code of numbers. I just want to mention that we're going to also have a full moon And the way that the month is going to progress, we are going to go into that dance of feeling the various energies that we talked about. So we are going to feel constricted in some ways and very expensive in other ways. Now, the best tool that you can practice in these times is surrender. Allow, surrender, let yourself be open, understand that you don't have all the elements, that the universe is collaborating with you all the time. Really have faith in that, and embrace the openness, the as you said, the creation. Allow yourself to align in a way that assists you to be in coherence with the flow of creation, in coherence with the resonance of your heart. And the way that the month will progress is we are going to have easier moments of energy. Towards the end, we're going to have another new moon in Pacific time zone. It's going to be the 1st of April for other people. I just find that it's interesting that we have 2 new moons, and we've had 2 full moons in January. This is not something that happens every year. It's quite an incredible way that the cosmos shows us that it's a different time we're living in. These huge luminaries and energies are coalescing with our own energy. So these are big things we are moving.
Yeah, they're massive.
Yeah, and we're going to get into the energy of Aries. And in April, just so you know, to give you something, in April, we're going to have more of the energy of movement in the physical matter structure. So you are working with much larger forms of energies within the cosmos, and just hold your intention in your heart, as we always say, and just know that everything unfolds in divine timing. When it's time to fly, you may fly much faster than you think you have, because we have no reference points anymore. We are not doing things the same way. And so before we go into activation, and if there is anything else you want to add, I just want to mention the 3-3 code marks the 33 vertebrae in our spines. It marks in the field of the cosmic reality, we do have 33 blood types. So we are actually have the possibility to tune in into the entire libraries and codexes that are present within the blood lines. And it is the double trinity, which represents the Merkaba again. It's the feminine and masculine. And how amazing that the sky is showing us the same reflection of the energies that are present. The Pleiades is also going to be very open this month. So as you said, we are receiving a lot of codexes and a lot of information, and our physical body is assimilating them in a way of movement, rest, water. Pay attention. It's a great signaling mechanism in the body.
Yeah, just a few things with that. The people that listen to this show, or anyone that's new here, the body's going through a lot of physical ascension symptoms right now. Even today, I feel the heart palpitations, right? The timeline jumps, our gifts coming on, even for me, the last month, I have light language coming in so strong that we're all really, I know if that's happening to me, I know it's happening to many of you. We are just fully stepping in because yes, we chose to, we want to. And so I just want to tell you, I support you. And, the way I've been going about things is I'm big in detoxing with my body, with heavy metals and, wherever else, being intuitive about it. But treat your vessel. Our vessel is everything, and it is just so smart. The technologies in our body, and they want to be so pure. And so as you're moving through this again, you are supported. You have people like us. You know, Dafna and I both work one-on-one with people, and, you know, as we're growing, it's group and, you know, community focused too. But, you know, take the time to honor your vessel and your DNA. You know, the collective consciousness, the old paradigm's a big old game, and you don't have to be in that game. Instead, you can, you know, honor that we are moving into new earth, and with new earth there requires a lot of purification in it, and it doesn't have to be a fast process, but honor your body, you know. And these ascension symptoms, you know, I've been going through the ascension journey since, you know, hardcore since 2008, 2012, and you really get to know your body really well. But my biggest thing is just honor your body, listen to it. Don't freak out when you're going through all these big changes, because the body is self-healing and you will be led on the right path. But again, you know, it really requires a lot of purification. And I just want to leave you with that.
Beautiful. So I want to get into an activation, if it's okay.
I'm going to mute myself, so I'll let you go for it.
Okay. So I'm going to close my eyes together with you. So if you want to find a comfortable position where you can tune inwards and just come home into your own heart. Come home into this beautiful temple that you are, and allow yourself to find your own rhythm, both in your breath and in life. There are so many elements of your being that demonstrates to you the way to move in life, in this human experience, in the way of a flow. And so as we are connected with beautiful, benevolent energies, our team of light, the beautiful energy of source, the photonic light and neutrinos that are present through the sun organism. And so as we connect with our breath and allow the flow of the breath to deepen into this space of serenity, into this presence within our inner home, knowing that this inner home is always with us, that stillness and essence can always remind us of our true divine core. And so as we connect with the divine and the energies that are ever flowing all around from above, from the source, connecting with the white lotus way above, and allowing the petals of that lotus to open wide as we connect with these energies and allow the breath of the divine to coalesce with our own breath as we are walking in this divine collaboration through this beautiful temple we embody. And so as the flow of energy moves through this white lotus, this pure essence, as it flow through our crown, connecting the essences within us, the feminine, the masculine, and allowing them to balance, to come to this point where they dance in perfect harmony. And this flow of energy as it moves through our pillar of light, through this beautiful column that runs from above and all the way through our human structure, connecting with our blood, connecting with our bones, and connecting through the base of the skull with the cerebral spinal fluid, and just focusing our awareness on the spine and allowing the energy to flow here as we also are becoming maybe more aware of the point of the spine that is behind the heart, connecting with that point that is right at the back of the center of our chest, and weaving the resonance of this point and echoing it through the spinal fluids, allowing the energies to coalesce, the heart's light, the divine heart, the higher heart, open and pour its fragrance through the spinal fluid, and allowing that fragrance to echo into our temple, echo into our cells. And as the cerebral spinal fluid moves up and down, connecting the electric and magnetic force of creation through our own authentic cord, and opening ourselves to energize, receive, attune, recalibrate, adjust within our own authentic expression, knowing that there are gifts embedded within the codexes that runs through our bone and blood, knowing that there is gifts in us that are here to be expressed through our own unique voice, in our own way, and in divine flow and co-creation. And as we embody and as we heed the call of our soul to participate in the ways of our heart, in the ways of our soul, in the way of our higher self, in this co-creation, to align ourselves within our authentic voice, to align ourselves within divine remembrance, and to allow divine will to guide us as our heart desire, our heart song, our frequency signature anchors through the spine into the earth, connecting with the diamond arcs within the earth and the crystalline grid, and connecting with the unified field and positioning our pillar of light in a way that opens the doorway to the highest and best trajectory in accord with our own divine will, with our own divine signature, with our own divine blueprint. There is embedded codexes within trigger points that you are always able to attune your life with. So as the codex that is present in this now moment flows through your spine, adjusting, attuning, activating, anchoring, whatever is of highest benefit to you, to your soul, to your heart, whatever is in accordance with the cosmic order and universal law, whatever is within your deepest, most profound value. This is the gift, the treasure of life and time you are given. Allow yourself to attune to the highest and best way for you to move forward, to participate with the divine in order to bring to life the life of your choosing, of your dreams, of your highest aspirations and vision. Know that the universal grid is open and that your ancestors are walking with you. There is a celebration within the cosmic breath. There is a knowing that the upcoming period is history in the making as we are writing a new form into light. And as we are riding this wave, let yourself always be guided by the love that you are. There is this beautiful force inside of you that takes courage to attune to. Strength, courage, humility, humanity, whatever it may be for you. You are the fabric of love. This is our most precious pearl within creation. Let yourself be embedded within that force that can always and will always guide you into the highest, most magical path. And as these words echo their truth into yourselves, as your truth unravels through your expression, let your divinity be ignited. Let your soul rise up high into the fields of magic. Let your child particle come alive in this adventure we are writing together. And let the forms of your divinity come to form. And as this energy flows all the way, connecting with your solar plexus, the sacral and the root, and moving through your temple of light and anchors right through the veins of the earth, the waterways, and all the way down to the crystalline grid, through the diamond arcs, all the way to the core, beating to one cosmic heart in this sacred devotional existence. So it is, and so it is, so it is. We'll just take a minute or so to come back into the flow of the physical structure, coming back and allowing the state of serenity and the state of coherence to permeate in you, through you, by you. At one, beginning to see, to sense, to feel this beautiful shimmering light, the light of the divine, flowing, intermingling with every cell, with the pores of your skin, infusing you with a divine remembrance, infusing you with resilience, and all that is beneficial on your path. A two, feeling grounded in your body, grounded and in resonance with your heart, connecting to the unified field, aligned within all of your bodies, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the etheric, the auric, all the subtle layers, all of your rainbow. Let all of your rainbow come into this beautiful state of coherence. Let it shine, let it open up, unfurls all its colors, so that your expression is through all these colors and tones. And it's three, coming all the way back, all the way to this precious moment.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Dafna. Much more grounded in this 3-3. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. We are sending you so many blessings and so much love. We are right there in it with you. So just enjoy this meditation's integration, and we will chime in soon. I'm Shannon with Quantum Heart Conversations, and this is Dafna Ohana with Healing Roots Hypnotherapy, and we are going to say goodbye. We love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.